15 million members, empowered to learn, to create, to grow, to harvest, to lead.
*811*816#. *811*816#.
As campaign intensified for the upcoming general election, what does all this mean for you, the voter? What do the candidates have to offer? How prepared are agencies charged with the election process? Join John Kuria and Safina Chieng on Kenya Decides. This and every Tuesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 as we unpack elections 2022 with a panel of various stakeholders. Make informed electoral decisions. Top sports attractions on KBC Channel 1. In July, Kenya Morans face off against the DRC, Egypt and Senegal in the FIBA Basketball World Cup African qualifiers in Alexandria, Egypt from 1st to 3rd of July 2022. Also in July, Kenya plays South Africa in Rugby League test matches in Nairobi with a return fixture set for October. Still in July, watch the World Athletic Championships from 15th to 24th July live from Oregon, USA as Kenyan athletes seek glory. Followed by the 22nd Commonwealth Games from 28th July to 8th August live from Birmingham, England. In August, join our coverage of the World Athletics Under-20 Championships from the 1st to 6th of August 2022 from Cali, Colombia. Then in November, catch the World Half Marathon Championships on 13th November from Yangzhou, China. Now that's what sets us apart as KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Good afternoon, this is Lunchtime News. Well, we have so much in store for you. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. Now remember, you can interact with us on our social media handles at KBC Channel 1. And now to kick us off, a section of the National Council of Churches of Kenya Kiambu chapter says that they will be delivering the community manifesto to presidential flag bearers so that the issues affecting the community can be addressed. The men of cloth were joined by their counterparts from SUPKEM in expressing their concerns that some of the manifestos of the flag bearers contradict religious values. The clergy father urged the electorate to maintain peace during and after the elections, adding that they have a role in scrutinizing and guiding their followers to sober-minded leaders.
Nilivyotangulia kusema madai katika ngazi ya kiuchumi, kijamii na kisiasa ambayo tutayawasilisha kwa viongozi hawa kupitia kongamano ambalo linalokuja baadaye.
But we have to give to the churches and these leaders to go and teach where they are leading, so that all those people also should have this in their minds, how to go about.
Based on our youth, we know most of them, they are very much educated and they are still very jobless. And we need to get a way of creating employment for them, because when they are idling around here, they'll be engaged in bad company.
In other news, residents from Jumbo in Rabai, Kilifi County are decrying increased environmental pollution in the area. The residents are now demanding for immediate closure of a metal manufacturing company, which they say is polluting the environment and causing health hazards in the area.
Residents from Jumbo in Rabai, Kilifi County, led by Harrison Ganzi, a village elder, noted that children in particular have been suffering from various respiratory diseases such as chest pains and uncontrolled coughing due to dangerous smoke and chemicals emitted by the company.
Kumekuwa na uchafuzi mwingi, tukianza na kelele. Hali ya anga imekuwa ni mbaya kwa sababu moshi unaotoka kwa hiyo kampuni una madhara mengi sana.
Huu moshi umeniathiri paka mimi kifua changu. Inakuwa kama ni TB sijui ni nini, nasikia kila wakati paka nikohoe. Na sijui mtoto mdogo kama hawa watoto wadogo umri wao wataendaje ikiwa sasa kama mimi tayari nasikia kuumia.
Na watu tunapokuamba tunalamika hivyo, akija wale watu wa neema, watu gani, hatujua anafanywa nini hapo ndani. Maana atazungumza mazuri alafu baadaye lakini hakuna mafuatiliziaji yanaendelea. Inakuwa tu hivyo si bado tunabaki tu tukidua hivyo.
Jumbo Metal Millers Management nonetheless denied the claims, accusing the residents of malice and ill motives against the company.
Sewage hapa kuna sewage. Sijui mambo ya sewage imetoka wapi. Nasema waste ni kidogo sana, na hiyo sisi naweka kwa shamba yetu na pale ile iko simu.
Javinda Patel, the company general manager, however, admitted the problem of smoke coming from the furnace has been there and mitigation measures are already in place to curb it once and for all.
Moshi, okay, sikatai, saa ingine natoka kama iko sida. It doesn't mean smoke natoka saa yote. Hiyo ni wakati na charge yo raw material in furnace, ile shakar naweka na sukuma kidogo kando. Hiyo 5-10 minutes ingine natoka.
Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
The war against cervical cancer has received a boost following the donation of cryotherapy and thermoablation equipment to the Kenya Medical Training College. The equipment is expected to aid in training, diagnosis and research.
This strategy recognizes prevention, screening, and early detection as key cost-effective interventions, which, if successfully implemented, will definitely reduce the burden of the disease. Again, this strategy syncs very well with one of the key big four agendas, the agenda of universal health coverage, where we all aspire to increase access to quality healthcare services and ensuring financial protection of the population as they access service, protecting them from catastrophic health expenditure, which tends to leave households extremely poor. So cervical cancer is number 2 according to the Kenya Cancer Registry in terms of the burden of the disease, but becomes number 1 in terms of mortality. And if you can compare this mortality, annual mortality, vis-a-vis COVID-19 mortality, since 2020 we have reported 5,651 COVID-related deaths. And you see the kind of investment the global community has made. It is imperative that we also now start to think internally as low-middle-income countries to be able to see how we can get resources for problems that are unique to us so that we offer our own solutions to our problems. The WHO launched a global strategy to accelerate the elimination of cervical cancer as a public health problem in 2020 with the 90-70-90 targets to be achieved by 2030.
I'm very grateful for the partnership that we've seen from Chai and JPEGO to allow for the graduates of KMTC and the faculty of KMTC to be part of that conversation and to provide care, to partner in providing care. I remember seeing the faculty as they were, because my office is right there next to the the hall that they were using for their training here in Nairobi, and I would remember seeing them coming for their classes, and I would like to say that I saw a lot of dedicated faculty members wanting to gain skills and knowledge. And I remember the excitement also when the buses came, when people were now going out into the county to go for their practicum.
Anyway, from matters held, an alternative dispute resolution program has been held as the answer to the perennial conflict between communities living along the Isiolo-Garissa border. The program has seen elders brainstorm on how the region can end the numerous cases of cattle rustling and killings, which has brought untold suffering to locals for decades.
Speaking in Garbatula on Monday during a meeting that brought together sub-county peace committees and administration officials, Garbatula Deputy County Commissioner Stephen Nyakundi and Isiolo Peace Link Executive Director Abdia Mohammed lauded the effort by the Borana elders from Isiolo and their Somali neighbors from Lagdera in Garissa County. The elders track and return the animals without the help of the police.
Kwa mwezi moja ambao ulipita tumefaulu kupata mifugo ambayo ilikuwa imepotea kwa kila upande, na tumefaulu kurudishia wenyewe. Kwa support ya Peace Link ya Isiolo tumefaulu kwa tarehe 8 mwezi wa 5 tulirudishiwa mbuzi 106 kutoka upande ya Lagdera, na sisi pia tukawarudishia mbuzi zao ambao zilikuwa zimepotea 136.
Sisi kama shirika tumejihusisha na ile inaitwa Alternative Dispute Resolution, na hii process imeweza kupatia knowledge ama imeweza kupatia ujuzi ya kufanya kazi ya amani.
Declaration ambayo iliwekwa kitambo ya Modogashe, hiyo wazee ndio watakalia. Kuna wazee wa Dedha from Garbatula sub-county na even their side. So sisi watu wa Garbatula tumesema tuko tayari kwa amani.
Isiolo Peace Link Executive Director Abdia Mohammed challenged the sub-county peace committees to also consider involving women in the peace process.
UN Security Resolution 1325 hii inasisitiza uhusishaji wa akina mama katika mambo ya peace process. Kwa hivyo tafadhalini tuhusishe akina mama katika hii mambo ya peace process.
Na tumekubali siku ya leo kwamba kama kuna mali imepotea ama imechukuliwa na ikaingia kwa upande yote, tuweze kurudisha hiyo mali.
Benane Location Senior Chief Abdi Nasir Abdullahi, who led the team from Lagdera, reiterated that the two neighboring communities will overcome the perennial insecurity challenges if they continue working together. The Alternative Dispute Resolution Program has seen hundreds of stolen cattle, camels and goats recovered from both counties and handed back to the rightful owners in the last few months. For Lunchtime News, I'm Ben Troinjue.
Still on matters politics, Baringo County Governor Stanley Kiptis has urged Kenyans to uphold peace as the campaigns intensify countrywide ahead of the general election. Speaking while distributing bursary to needy students, Kiptis noted the election is a process and should not divide Kenyans along tribal lines.
Speaking while distributing bursary to needy students, Baringo County Governor Stanley Kiptis has called on Kenyans to maintain peace before and after the August 9th general election.
Wananchi wameheshimu IEBC na kuheshimu serikali na kuheshimu wakati mzuri. Tuendelee kuonesha namna hii. Hata wakikuja kule villages kuomba kura. Tuheshimu? Yes, tupendane. Niliambia nyinyi tarehe 9 usiku ama tarehe 10 asubuhi. Ule jirani yako ni ule.
Chair for Inter-Religious Council of Kenya, Bishop Musa Kamuren, urged youths not to be used by politicians to cause chaos.
Unapochagua viongozi, chagueni viongozi ambaye ni viongozi watumishi, viongozi ambaye watatuletea maisha mzuri ili tuweze kuendelea.
Tunataka kuhimiza kila mmoja including wa vijana ya kwamba sisi tukue agents of peace tukue agents of peace, tusikue agents ya conflict, chaos na mambo kama haya, ili community yetu ikuwe na amani. Hiyo ndio ile kitu ambacho tunahimiza.
The two spoke even as National Cohesion and Integration Commission categorized 3 counties in the North Rift, including Baringo and Nandi, as medium-high risk of poll-related violence, with exactly 2 months before the election. Elsewhere, communities with registered voters in Kajiado County are positioning themselves for a stake of the county government in the August polls. Elders from the Kikuyu, Kamba, Kalenjin, Abagusi and Luya communities residing in Kajiado East Sub-County have come together to demand a say in the regional politics.
Kwa tukikosa mambo mengi, lakini kwa ishara hii ambayo tumefanya, ama kwa hii jambo ambayo tumefanya siku ya leo, ni jambo ambalo litaweza kushikanisha community zetu ama kabila zote ambazo tutaweza kwenda tukiwa pamoja. Na hii ni kutetea watu wetu na umoja wa watu wetu.
Tumefanya leo, nimeona ni ya msara na ni ya muhimu. Wale tumechagua tutawaombea kura, hatuone success, hatujua Kitengela itakuwa mzuri.
And Lamu residents have been urged to pay close attention to the policies and manifestos of leaders in order to make wise decisions at the ballot. Led by Omar Bakari, the residents have been urged to audit leaders who might not deliver to their promises and will not prioritize the interest of the voters.
Kama sisi hapa kwetu tufuati mirengo ya vyama, sisi tunaangalia maendeleo ya ule kiongozi ambao anastahili kutuongoza. Sababu kuna viongozi kama mimi, kiongozi wangu wengine wako mrengo wa Yuda, kuna wengine wako mrengo wa Azimio. So umeona tumetangamana, lakini ninachokiomba sisi ni amani, siasa ya amani yenye italeta maendeleo kwa jamii.
Tuwe na mjadala wa sera vile tutakavyokuweza kuboresha hali ya maisha ya watu wa Lamu. Kwa mwananchi wa kawaida, ile anayetaka kujua ni kuwa atafanyiwa kitu gani ili kuboresha maisha yake.
Meanwhile, a family of primary school twins who were last year defiled and impregnated in Tebeson village, Uasin Gishu County, is crying for justice and calling on the government to intervene and have the perpetrators arrested. The family lamented on the long wait of justice despite reporting the incident at the Tebeson police station and Tarbo sub-county education office.
The family of the defiled twins want justice and they want it now. This family says the last 1 year has been a painful one as no one has been held accountable for the defilement of their daughters.
Huyo mtu mwenye alifanya hivi hata hajawahi kuja. Hata ajui mtoto anaitwa nani. Sometimes chakula inakosa, school fees inakosa. Hata nakosa kuconcentrate kwa darasa. Naanguka mtihani lakini najikaza. Mwaka jana nilipata mtoto. Hata kama ni mtoto ni baraka, lakini nimepitia challenges mengi na mtoto. Ningependa kupata usaidizi.
The disgruntled twins who asked for anonymity expressed their anger that there has been no progress in addressing their ordeal.
Vile walijifungua tu, hakuna mtu yeyote ambaye alifuatilia. Ila tu ni watu hawa ya kaunti walikuja na vile walienda hawakurudi tena. Mpaka saa hizi sijaona usaidizi yeyote wamefanya. Nimeng'ang'ana, hawa wasichana wameenda shule na sasa vile wameenda shule mimi nang'ang'ana na watoto, napambana chakula nini kila kitu, lakini sasa ninaendelea tu kwa sababu watoto wako shule.
The family urged the relevant authorities to fast-track the process of delivering justice as the culprits continue to walk freely. The twins say they have been victimized by the society and have become the subject of ridicule.
Na wajili wanatamani kuendelea na masomo. Sasa walimu naye kule wanamuongojea waendelee na masomo. Watoto hawako na watoto na hana maelekeo yoyote. Kukula ni ngumu. chakula kwa hii boma wana chakula yeyote, wanapitia shida sana. Huyu mama inakaa jini tu na watoto, na huyu mama ni mama mwenye ajiwezi, hana mbele na nyuma. Sasa anatamani kwa usaidizi sana kwa upande hii watoto, ili watoto waende masomo.
Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
Now, residents from lower parts of Buri sub-county in Meru County are calling upon both the county and national governments to provide them with relief food and also drill boreholes to save them from drought that has hit the region. Other affected areas are Tigania sub-counties and Igembe sub-counties.
According to data from Meru County Steering Committee, about 100,000 residents in the region are facing drought owing to insufficient rain. Buuri, Tigania and Igembe sub-counties are the most affected.
Tumekaa miaka karibu 3 hakujanyesha mvua, lakini kile tunategemea ni hizi mbuzi zetu tunauza, watoto wakifukuzwa shule ni hizi mbuzi tunauza, lakini saa hizi waizi nao ndio wameanza kukuja tena.
Learning has also been disrupted, hence the need to introduce a school feeding program in the area.
Kwa wakati huu kuna kiangazi kali na hiyo kiangazi imeathiri watu wengi. Mifugo wameathirika, wanafunzi wameathirika. Kwa wakati huu kuna wanafunzi hawaendi shule kwa sababu hawana chakula. Hata walimu wengi wakuu wananipigia kuniambia sasa leo hii sijapata 20% 30% ya watoto hawajakuja.
According to the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, 3.5 million Kenyans are facing hunger due to acute drought, and consecutive poor rainy seasons could prove disastrous. Elvis Otieno reported for Lunchtime News.
And now on matters education, the International Development Research Center has rolled out a training program for mathematics teachers in high schools across the country. Kibabii University Vice Chancellor Professor Isaac Epara says the training will help teachers retool their skills, reload their knowledge and refocus their attitude to make mathematics an interesting subject to learners.
Official data shows that enrollment at public universities dipped last year for the first time in 3 years, in a period that saw the intake at technical colleges offering diploma and certificate courses increased by 22%. According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics report, students joining public universities for undergraduate degrees dropped to 448,482 from 452,089 the previous year. Enrollment at technical and vocational education and training TVETs hit 265,095 from 217,440.
Well, we do apologize for that. We shall bring you that report once we come back. For now, we'll be taking a short break. Don't go too far. We still have more news coming up.
The World Blood Donor Day is celebrated every year on the 14th of June. This year's theme is donating blood as a sign of solidarity. This event will be held at Olkalau in Nyandarua County and will be presided over by Mutai Kagwe, the CS of Health. Safe blood transfusions are critical aspects of care and public health, and there is need for a consistent blood bank in Kenya, as there is someone who needs blood every 2 seconds. You are encouraged to regularly and voluntarily donate blood in order to address the current shortage. Help save lives by donating blood.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Welcome back. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has blasted the congressional inquiry into the Capitol riot as a kangaroo court. In a 12-page statement, he said the investigation was designed to distract Americans from what he terms as a disaster of Democratic-led governance. His remarks came after the committee held 2 public hearings accusing Trump of an attempted coup to remain in power.
The panel investigating the January 6th riot on Monday detailed evidence of provisions among Trump aides over whether to accept his election loss. Supporters of Trump stormed Congress on January 6, 2021 in a bid to thwart certification of Joe Biden's election victory. A separate ongoing criminal investigation has led to more than 800 arrests in nearly every state. But Trump, in a statement, said 17 months after the events of the January 6th, Democrats are unable to offer solutions. Trump went ahead to say that they are desperate to change the narrative of a failing nation without even making mention of the havoc and death caused by the radical left just months earlier. Trump accused the committee of treason, referring to the Democratic-led House of Representatives Select Committee that has been conducting the inquiry for the past.
And now on news making headlines in the business world, she scored a B+ in her Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examination and secured a place at the University of Nairobi to pursue a degree course contrary to the norm. Judy Mathenge opted to pursue a diploma course in technical and vocational institution, which she says puts more emphasis on nurturing practical skills among learners as opposed to focusing on theoretical learning. Caroline Jenge brings us her story.
Official data shows that enrollment at public universities dipped last year for the first time in 3 years, in a period that saw the intake at technical colleges offering diploma and certificate courses increased by 22%. According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics report, students joining public universities for undergraduate degrees dropped to 448,482 from 452,089 the previous year. Enrollment at technical and vocational education and training TVETs hit 265,095 from 217,440, making it the biggest rise in 5 years. Meet Judy Mathenga, a student pursuing an electrical technician course at the Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies in Nakuru. She attributes the new trend to government initiatives that have made technical education attractive, affordable and accessible to most Kenyan youth.
I've already done their degree courses, but they are here to advance on their skills for a competitive job opportunity.
Even though the technical field is regarded as the preserve of men, Mathenge says from a young age she was not cut for white-collar jobs, and at no point did she imagine herself sitting in an office from 8 to 5.
For self-employment, by the way, after you've done your school, you can just be self-employed. Like for this course, electrical engineering, you can be an electrician.
The direction that we are going as a nation, clearly we have to focus on trainings that can enable the youth to go for self-employment.
After scoring B+ grade in the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examination in 2020, she secured a chance at the University of Nairobi to pursue a degree course in pure mathematics. Judy instead vowed to pursue her passion to be a certified public accountant and an electrical technician.
So you might have a degree in the university, but you might want to advance your knowledge, to have more experience, to have more skills, and any TVET institution can be better for you.
Dressed in a navy blue overall, Mathenge, who is one of the 2 female students in a class of 28 pursuing an electrical technician course, challenged the national and the county governments to have good and adequate policies and programs in which, if fully implemented, will uplift women in the informal sector. Her education and that of thousands of others has been made possible after the government opened up funding for Higher Education Loans Board to students joining TVET, a shift from the past when loans were available only to students admitted to universities. Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies Director John Gitao states that TVETs complement the competency-based curriculum that puts more emphasis on nurturing practical skills among learners.
The economy should go, and the world all over, is that people should enhance on hands-on trainings, because as we know is that at the universities, people are taught skills that are more or less managerial on how to manage systems.
He expresses concerns that the country is battling with a skills shortage gap that is hindering the smooth implementation of industrial growth. Gitao noted the need for universities and TVETs to complement each other to achieve a greater purpose of economic growth.
Now we cross over to Kisumu County, where Farmers Field Day event is underway. The event is organized by both the county and national government, and it is aimed at sensitizing farmers on new trends and initiatives in the farming sector and diversification of crop production, the potential of Muhoroni as far as farming is concerned. Now we join our reporter Wycliffe Okech for more details. Wycliffe, if you can hear me, kindly bring us up to date.
Well, thank you so much, Jacqueline Wambiru, back in Nairobi. I can hear you pretty well. We are in Muhoroni sub-county here in Kisumu County. Like you rightly put it, today is a field day for the farmers from this region. Actually, this field day follows the release or rather the unveiling of the sugar sector report yesterday, where an event that was that was graced by the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture, Peter Munya. And actually, Peter Munya himself is here today, actually gracing this this event again. He is accompanied by the county governor, that is Professor Peter Nyong'o. And during the launch of the report yesterday, something that was noted is now that the sugar payment for farmers will be done according to the sucrose content of their produce and not the weight as it has been the norm. And based on that, there is need for the farmers to be sensitized on the new methods and farming trends that can enable them actually to improve on their produce. But before we get to the gist here, of course, the CS is already here, but then before we go to the speeches and all that, let me just engage one of the stakeholders in the farming sector here to share with us what really ails the sugar sector, rather the agricultural sector in Kisumu, and what can be done maybe to avert the situation. And at this point, I'm going to bring on board Mr. Joel Tanui, who is actually the regional manager for the that is in charge National Irrigation Authority. Mr. Joel, welcome to KBC Channel 1, our Lunchtime Bulletin. And if you just can introduce yourself and maybe tell us, as the regional manager, what are some of the activities, the ongoing activities of the authority, maybe in brief?
Okay. Thank you so much, and my name is Joel Tanui, the Regional Manager, National Irrigation Authority, and today we are glad to be here in the field day together with the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Agriculture, so that we can be able to showcase what the government is doing in terms of food security within Kisumu County. Kisumu County, as you know, is one of the highest potential areas for food as a food basket, whereby we have rice as one of the major crops together with sugar and other crops. So the National Irrigation Authority is here today to showcase how much they have done in terms of irrigation development in this county. In Kisumu County alone, we have now more than 16,000 acres under irrigation, contributing directly to the food basket in terms of rice production and other crops in the region. So basically, the farmers here are now able to learn about the latest technologies in terms of irrigation. We are also here to showcase the issue of food security in terms of other crops like growing of avocado, macadamia, mangoes, which has not been the tradition of the region, but it is a new area where we are telling the farmers to diversify to ensure that we all meet the Big Four agenda of the president.
That's very right. Actually, you've got into the question I wanted to ask next. When we talk about crop diversification, this is a region that is known for its sugar farming. What are the crops that can maybe our farmers can engage into, maybe to increase their produce?
Yes, thank you. You've seen that this region, particularly the entire Kisumu or Lake Victoria belt, has very good weather, very good soils, and abundant water supply for agricultural production. So what we are looking at is, apart from sugar, we are now encouraging the farmers in the region to venture into rice competitively. Some are venturing into maize, and of late, majority of the farmers are now going into commercial sorghum production to be able to supply our newly opened industries, beer making industry in Kisumu. We are also looking at legumes and cereals because of the high demand for raw materials for the upcoming industries in the region. So you do realize that majority of the farmers now are moving from just only sugar sector oriented to cereal oriented region, and therefore we are here to support them with irrigation facilities, irrigation services, so that they can be able to double issues to do with production and be able to diversify.
Yesterday there was a report that was launched by the sugar sector that now sugarcane farmers will be compensated based on the sucrose content of their produce and not the weight. Yes. According to you, what really informed that decision, and what really can the farmers do maybe to improve on the produce?
Thank you. It is a welcome decision, or it's a welcome policy, so that farmers are paid based on the quality. This therefore encourages farmers to produce quality cane, and this now throws the ball back to us in terms of ensuring the sugarcane farmers in the region actually grow sugarcane using the right agronomic practices, using the latest technologies, so that they can meet the market demand. Currently, the agricultural market is demand-driven in terms of quality. So the sugarcane is based on quality. So if you can be able to supply industries with high-quality sucrose content from the sugar industries, then it means you can be able to fetch a higher price. So the farmers, first of all, will be able to have a higher price based on the sucrose content, and therefore we'll be able to sell our sugarcane competitively in the market.
Thank you so much, Mr. Joel. Jackie, like you've heard it right from Mr. Joel, Mr. Joel actually is the regional manager for the National Irrigation Authority, talking to us about the crop diversification concept, and he's saying that the authority is actually organizing sensitization forums for the local farmers here to be taught and maybe told about the new trends in farming so that they can improve on the quality of their produce. Well, like I've told you before, the CS Munya and the County Governor, Professor Nyang'nyong'o, have already arrived here, and they've been talking across, just to the various stands here that have been where they're being shown about the new technologies that the farmers are engaging actually to improve on their produce. This is something we're monitoring, and more details of this will compile them comprehensively in our subsequent bulletins. Jackie, it's back to you so that we can continue with the bulletin.
Well, thank you so much, Wycliffe Okech, with an update there on the Farmers Field Day event that is currently underway in Kisumu County. We now move on. The International Development Research Center has rolled out a training program for mathematics teachers in high schools across the country. Kibabii University Vice Chancellor Professor Isaac Kipara says the training will help teachers retool their skills, reload their knowledge, and refocus their attitude to make mathematics an interesting subject to learners.
The training brings together 3 universities, namely the National University of Zambia, University of Dar es Salaam, and Kibabii University. Kibabii University Vice Chancellor Professor Isaac Kipara Odeo said teachers attending the training will benefit from new skills, reload their knowledge, and refocus their attitude to make mathematics an interesting subject to learners.
This program is actually meant to help teachers who are already in service to make mathematics an interesting subject that learners would like, and a subject that can be taught well within the current environment that has many challenges. And one of these things is how do we make the subject applicable to day-to-day life?
He said there are 10 mathematics experts from Tanzania who would share their new knowledge, discoveries and innovation out of their research that they have conducted.
In this training, we have 10 experts in mathematics from Tanzania. Majority of them are from the University of Dar es Salaam, and they've coming to share their new knowledge, their discoveries and their innovations out of research that they have conducted.
He expressed his optimism that the training will improve the performance of students in mathematics. Teachers Service Commission Deputy Director Busia County, Dr. Moses Odiayo, admitted that despite yearning for quality grades in mathematics in secondary schools, they are grappling with the shortage of teachers.
Our universities here, like the University, Kibabi University and other universities and other colleges that are implementing this program, are actually augmenting the efforts of the Commission and the government to be able to come out with teachers who are passionate about quality teaching of mathematics and also role models in the schools.
Busia Quality Assurance Officer Naiti Momanyi blamed the poor grades in mathematics on learners' attitudes and failure by teachers to embrace modern practical ways of teaching mathematics in school.
And we believe that as this program is rolled out, there are models that are going to be taught to the teachers, which will simplify mathematics and make it lovable, not only to the teachers, but also to the students.
Beatrice Getonyenge-Tich, Lunchtime News.
The Egyptian government aims to attract $10 billion in foreign direct investment annually. The finance ministry says this will ensure increased economic growth rates, thus creating more job opportunities and improving the standard of living of citizens. Here are the details of the story and much more from across the continent.
Egypt's Minister of Finance confirmed that the climate summit, which Egypt will host next November, is an additional platform to promote development investments in the Republic. The National Strategy for Climate Change provides promising opportunities for investment in green projects based on a business environment that is more attractive to the private sector. Elsewhere, after months of continuous soaring of food prices, among other products on the market, sugar and meat prices have finally gone down in Rwanda. The development follows interventions from the Rwanda Consumer Protection Authority, which recently warned against abattoirs and butcheries that had hiked meat prices across the country. They were instructed to ensure use of standard scales and avoid further hiking of prices. Due to scarcity, beef prices had risen and a kilogram of meat was costing 4,500 Rwandan francs. But now it is down to 3,500 Rwandan francs. Sugar, which went for 2,000 Rwandan francs, is now at 1,500 Rwandan francs. Finally, authorities in Tanzania's Zanzibar archipelago vowed to end child labor as they marked the World Day Against Child Labor. The President's Office responsible for labor, economy and investment said that since 2005, authorities have been taking measures aimed at curbing child labor. He said there are nearly 26,000 children aged between 5 and 17 that are experiencing child labor in the Zanzibar archipelago. The International Labour Organization started observing World Day Against Child Labor in 2002 to highlight the plight of children who are the victims of child labor.
Now, the National Research Fund has started a 3-year program to restock the superior breed of Sahawal cattle through a genetic improvement and multiplication program. The project seeks to improve dairy cattle breeding in a bid to increase milk production among smallholder dairy farmers. The Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization says the project has already started in Narok County with a target to roll it out in all the arid and semi-arid counties in the country.
The Saiwal cattle in Kenya are descendants of some 60 bulls and 12 cows imported between 1939 and 1963 by the colonial government. The Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization is one of the leading world's custodian of Saiwal cattle, a meat and milk breed which is highly tolerant to semi-arid and arid conditions. KALRO and the National Research Institute have launched a 3-year restock program targeting to increase the production of Saiwal bulls.
Thank KALRO so much for assisting these farmers to come all the way from the Cebu cow to the better cow upgraded sour breed, of which we are now proud of having 309 newly born crops, as compared to some years back where there is no single even calf for AI. Now we have 170 bulls newly born, and we are happy because maybe very soon we will be able to sell to other farmers.
The Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization has already developed a superior breed of dairy cows that are highly tolerant to pests, diseases and adverse climatic conditions, with the capacity to produce at least 15 liters of milk per day.
We understand that we have a lot of challenges, especially when you talk about climate change. And our work is basically to ensure that the farmers are enlightened on which breeds that are more adaptable to the environment and that are more resilient to the harsh environment that we've witnessed in the recent times. And therefore, out of that, they are supposed to ensure that they are keeping breeds that will sustain them.
So far, over 100 livestock breeds from Narok County have benefited from the breed that is expected to minimize risk emanating from drought-related disasters. Through the program, 65 farmers and extension personnel have also been trained on the good Saiwal cattle management practices. KALRO, through its Dairy Institute at Naivasha, has also begun training farmers on breeding, disease control and animal health, feed formulation, value addition and marketing in the dairy subsector. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I am Teresa Mutai.
Smallholder farmers will be the main beneficiaries of an electronics refurbishment program by the ICT authority seeking to fasten adoption of technology in the agriculture sector. The government is now calling on all Kenyans to donate their unused gadgets at drop-off centers in Konza City, which will be used to woo the youth to the agriculture sector.
Of the Kenyan population, 13.7 million are under the age of 35. This means that the Kenyan youth make up for more than 70% of the population, with more than 35% of this number remaining unemployed. In addition, each year, thousands of the youth are churned into the job market by institutions of higher learning, piling pressure on unemployment. The ICT authority is seeking to facilitate the youth to join the agricultural sector, which is dominated by an aging population, with the average age of a farmer in Kenya currently at 61.
Where we are in agriculture, as a country, there is need to change and adopt the current trends in the line of technology. But when you go down to the farmer, you realize that the basic requirements to access information is missing.
Kiprono says digitizing the agriculture value chain is key to enable agripreneurs to leverage on free internet connectivity to boost productivity. He also urges counties to employ young extension officers who can help elderly farmers incorporate technology into their practices.
And the idea here is to be able to provide interventions that are market tested, farmer ready, and poised to provide the impact that will cascade across the food systems. Because if we are talking about the farmer today and you have the average age, in another 10 years, 15 years, who will be that farmer? It is this youth. It is.
By so doing, you will really spur innovation. You will spur economic growth. You will make everybody productive.
Those in the agricultural value chain say the perception of the youth towards agriculture still remains dismal. Hibak Said for Lunchtime News.
And now in the sports arena, Aisha Nasa Baksh is the first of two triathletes to the Commonwealth Games to make the cut for Team Kenya. Aisha secured her place after winning the trials held on Sunday in Kilifi County.
Triathlete Aisha Nasser-Baksh booked her ticket to the Commonwealth Games after winning the trials held at the Bofa Beach and Bofa Road in Kilifi County on Sunday. The event comprised of a 750-meter swim, followed by a 20-kilometer bicycle ride, and finally a 5-kilometer run on Bofa Road for the sprint distance triathlon. Aisha won the trials in a time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, 54 seconds, followed closely by Vivian Hillier from Mombasa, who clocked 1 hour, 23 minutes, 6 seconds. Megan Irongo completed the podium dash in a time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, 6 seconds.
Being first is, of course, a great feeling. It gives me the motivation to keep pushing and not to give up, and to continue believing in myself.
Aisha will immediately join camp with 45 days to go to Birmingham. Hillier, who's part of NOC's youth program towards the 2026 Youth Olympic Games, will also be joining camp to assist Aisha in training. For Lunchtime News, I am Daniel Wahome.
Victor Osimhen scored 4 goals as Nigeria thrashed Minnow, Sao Tome and Principe 10-0 in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier match. Nigeria now joins holders Senegal, Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mali and Morocco with 2 wins from their first 2 qualifiers, with the next 2 rounds of matches scheduled for September.
Nigeria secured the top spot in Group A after massive victory of 10-0 against Sao Tome and Principe. The visitors had a perfect start of 3-0 in the first half. Nigeria's Victor Osimhen completed his hat-trick in 65th minute when he netted his 4th with 6 minutes remaining. Then Dennis rounded off the scoring with an injury time penalty. In Group K of African Cup of Nations, Morocco secured a 2-0 win against Liberia to lead the group with 6 points. Morocco joins holders Senegal, Algeria, Burkina Faso, Mali and Nigeria with 2 wins from their first 2 qualifiers, with the next 2 rounds of matches scheduled for September. Elsewhere, Guinea-Bissau settled for a 2-2 draw against Sierra Leone despite a leading 2-0 early in the second half after a brace from Jorginho.
Now, the Golden State Warriors are 1 win away from the 7th NBA title after Andrew Wiggins inspired his team to a 104-94 win over the Boston Celtics. But as was the case in their Eastern semifinal against the Milwaukee Bucks, they are now required to back-to-back wins in their next matches to triumph.
Tony Brothers. The Warriors lead the series 3-2 and can claim a 4th title in 8 years with victory in Game 6 of the best-of-7 contest in Boston on Thursday. Wiggins led Golden State with 26 points, while Kelly Thompson added further 21 points. Stephen Curry, who starred with 43 points in Game 4, missed all 9 of his 3-point attempts on Tuesday.
As Curry drives, layup off the glass is good. Another one of those.
Wiggins' performance comes that 6 years after his father Mitchell came off the bench to lead the Houston Rockets to victory against the same opponent in Game 5 of 1986 NBA Finals. Jason Tatum scored a game-high 27 points for the Celtics, who had led the series 2-1. For Sports News, I'm Kingori Mwangi.
France's hope of retaining the Nations League title are over after being defeated 1-0 by Croatia last evening. The world champions, who have now lost 2 and drawn 2, are bottom of Group 1 on 2 points, 5 adrift of Croatia.
Croatia grabbed the early lead after 5 minutes when Luka Mape had 2 opportunities, but it was the visitors who threatened most in the 17th minute through Josip Brekalo. France are now bottom of Group A1 on 2 points from 4 games. Meanwhile, Denmark topped the group on 9 points, 2 above Croatia after a 2-0 win over Austria. Jonas Wind scored from The final 2 round of games will be played in September, with France hoping to avoid relegation to League B. In other matches played in Group C3, Kazakhstan won 2-1 against Slovakia. Azerbaijan outshone Belarus by 2-1, while Iceland drew 2-2 with Israel. Today in Group A3, England will face Hungary, Germany take on Italy, while in Group A4, the Netherlands visit Wales, while Poland tackle Belgium.
Well, that brings us to the end of our bulletin this afternoon. Thank you for choosing Lunchtime News. My name is Jackie Wambiru. Sign language interpreter is Lensao Dingo. For more news, check out our website at kbc.co.ke. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Every day, over 15 million members are transforming Africa. Equity. Karibu member.
As campaign intensifies for the upcoming general election, what does all this mean for you, the voter? What do the candidates have to offer? How prepared are agencies charged with the election process? Join John Kuria and Safina Chiang on Kenya Decides. This and every Tuesday